Hello. Sorry about the delay, everybody. We've had visitors that have arrived here at 3 minutes to 4, as you do, and all things were on. We're here now, and we're live. I'm Courtney. I'm the Stampin' Up demonstrator from the beautiful Central Coast that's absolutely saturated at the minute, New South Wales in Australia. So today I'm playing with the, let me say it, Kintsugi. Oh gosh, I think I got that wrong. I even checked on Google how to say it. The Imperfection Suite. Okay. Kintsugi, that's it. Okay, so I've been asked to make a card specifically for a birthday, and my friend just said, "Oh, I don't suppose you can make me a Japanese birthday card?" And I went, "Well, actually, yeah, I can." So I pulled over one of the birthday cards. Where's my birthday sentiments form? I pulled over. Oh, I thought I did. Thought I had a birthday sentiment as well. So I don't know what's going on there. So hopefully when one of these children come to annoy me, we'll get them to actually have something to say. Okay. We need to make a birthday card. Now I'll just pull up the screen. This is the Inspiring Imperfection stamp set. As you can see, it doesn't have a birthday sentiment on it, but we need a birthday sentiment. So Maybellicious is here. I pulled out a stamp set that has birthday sentiments on it. Can you just have a quick peruse and see if you can see it, my love? All right. And otherwise, she's going to have a look in my drawer, and she's going to pull out something. Hi, Lisa. How are you going? She's going to pull out something. Here she is. That has a really nice birthday sentiment. Just a happy birthday. That's all I need. Why do you have everything else but not happy birthday? I do. I have everything else but not happy birthday. So I also thought we'd do a... Oh, hello, Cherie. How are you going? I also thought we'd do a fancy fold. Now, fancy folds are cards that have just a little bit of difference. All right. So I pulled over 3 things. I also pulled over the textured note dies. So we've got those. They're amazing dies. I've taken out the ones that I like, that I'm using, but look at these guys. Okay. So we've got in the Inspiring Perfections bundle, there is also this fabulous 3D embossing folder that goes with it. They're all throwing a spanner in my works at the back of me there. So yeah, keep looking, Maybellicious. You'll find something. Just something that's a nice, happy birthday, darling. All right. So I've pulled over some. I've got my envelope. I've got some Misty Moonlight. I've got a whole heap of little pieces of paper. This one here is our 2-sided paper. Can you see the difference? They're in alphabetical order. All right. That is all the stamp sets, my lovely. I thought I pulled one out that just had a beautiful happy birthday on it. Something that's got a nice font. Okay, so let's get started while they're all searching for things in the background. So what I've done, too big. What? You can't be picky. I apparently can be picky, and that's too big. I need a sentiment that's about this big. I'm telling you, this big. What do you reckon? Hooray. I want a happy birthday. Shh, girlies. So what I've done is I've cut my regular piece of cardstock in half.
Can I have a moment?
No, you may not.
Please.
So you'll notice then I've also then cut off 4.5 centimeters off the edge. Okay, so that way then I've done a fold down the middle. I've done a fold down at I've scored it at 10.5 centimeters, and then so that I can then come along and I can fold this over so I've got like a bit of a flap. Okay,
that's cute.
All right.
Hi, Honey Long. I love you.
All right. Someone find me a stamp set that says that just says happy birthday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out. This here is petal pink, and I'm going to cut out this pretty one here that's got this really nice edge. Okay. All right. Okay, and we're going to go through there. we'll send this one through. And the other thing I didn't bring over with me was my gold gems, but that's okay. I've got my cup of tea. Have you guys all got your cup of tea? Okay. And there's that piece. And then this piece here is going to go through on one of these little basic white pieces.
Option A, option B.
Too big, and no, I want something pretty. So
something.
Oh, actually, birthday wishes might be nice. We'll use birthday wishes. She's pulled over, simply said, guys, what do you reckon? That's going to have to do us, I think, because they're all finding it way too difficult. I don't know what I did with the one that I pulled out because
That just happened to be the first two I found.
Oh, no. Oh, apparently there's something better coming up.
Look, Round We Go has a pretty one.
Yes, and Round We Go is actually one of the... It's upside down, sugar. Round We Go is actually one of the ones that is on our last chance list. So
I'm going to grab this.
it's also part of, it's a bundle. And it's one of those bundles that, let me tell you, is cheaper to buy now separately. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you go shopping. All right. I also brought over some gold because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. So we've got a few things happening. So I was thinking outside the square. They're all here. Yes, everybody's here. Okay. So this would normally have been my card front. And when I was playing with it, I was thinking, oh, yeah, okay, there you go, card front, blah, blah, blah. But I'm actually going to move that to the inside. Because of the way that I'm doing this card, it's going to need that little extra bit of support. All right? Not a problem. See? Cheers. There is lots of inspiration online. Then I thought we could do this piece here. This being our double-sided, this is the paper that comes on in 12 by 12. So it's our core, the one that's got that core. Cedar didn't make those biscuits, Cheryl. Cheryl's birthday, we stopped in there to say hi today, and I took Vicky's. Cedar didn't make those biscuits. Cedar made it so that I had to make biscuits. Right? And then I bought a piece of scrap over, and then we've got our envelope. So essentially that's where we're doing, how we're doing this card. Now, the beautiful paper now has to come into it. So I keep my paper now in little packets like this. When I was asking about the brief, I said, oh, what sort of colours does your daughter like? And she said, oh, I don't know. I said, well, this is the paper I've got. And I said, we've got all these pretty colours, including all these pots. And I just thought that they were fabulous. So I'm going to cut out a couple of pots because I just think that they're beautiful. So we want, and then I'm going to send them through the cut and emboss machine. Now you can cut them out with your dies. You can cut them out with, what other colour should we do? Well, we've got this colour. So you can cut them out with your dies. You can cut them out with just with your snips. Let's do this one here. I know it looks a little bit plain. And I know it's very similar to something I've done before. I just love it. I'm loving this paper. This is the second packet that I've used of it. All right. And you know what? Looking at this, this is probably my favourite piece. But the back piece is also lovely. So we might have a play with that as well. Oops, pull those out. All right. And we'll just I'm just going to balance this precariously over here because I might come back to it. So I'm thinking that we have, I don't know if I'm going to use that pot colour. I'm thinking we might need to maybe pull in a petal pink pot. Actually, you know what? I think we will. We've got a pot that's got the same sort of decorations on it. So this lass's favourite colour is actually blue. Otherwise, I would have jumped at my other colours. I really love this one here. And, of course, I love the old olive ones. So this paper, I was just thinking as I was pulling bits of paper out, that one there, I mean, that pattern's really pretty. That would look really nice under there, wouldn't it? Lots of things that we can do. But first of all, we've got a few other things. Now, the other thing I want is I do want some of these flowers. I don't want those ones, so we need to stamp some flowers. So in our stamp set, we've got these guys. We've got these guys, okay? And then we've actually got the dies to cut them out. So I want this one. And I'll get a block that's small enough. Now, oh gosh, where did that go? Where did the ink, like, I must be going, you know what? I've even left the ink pads on the bench. I bet they're with the stamp set that I wanted. No, didn't see it. But don't mind that's Misty Moonlight, and that's petal pink. You guys, do you know that the markers are, hi Dimity, how you going? You know our markers are starting, they're getting rid of the markers, or they're discontinuing the markers. So when I talk about markers, not the alcohol ones, I'm talking about these guys. I'm talking about the Stampin' Right markers, the water ones. So our Misty Moonlight is here in our neutrals. All right, so it's in the neutral one. They're not reduced. I don't know if they'll actually end up reduced, but something for you to keep in mind, because once they're gone, they're gone. All right, so I have showed you in the past that you can colour in on the, we normally use it for red rubber. Hi Glenda, how you going? Red rubber's also going to be phased out coming the November releases. So what I'm thinking with this one is we're going to have to try and work out how we're going to do this. Now, I have seen if you stamp it with Versamark first and then you colour over the top, then you can get a very good image. But I'm thinking what we're going to do today is I'm going to colour it in I'm going to stamp it in our petal pink. All right. And I'm going to end up cutting these guys out. And I'm sorry they're a bit hard to see because they are in petal pink. All right. And I've got my trusty Wink of Stella here. All right. I didn't bring over any green. So Old Olive hangs out in with the Regals. You can put a little bit of marker onto here. All right. And then I can colour in using my Wink of Stella. I can colour in here. And I can just go over this. It'll just change those dynamics a little bit. Okay, so that's another way that you can colour your images. Okay, just so that they're not all the same colour. Okay, just gives you that little bit of a variety as such. And then we're going to cut this out. Now, once the markers are gone, what we will do with that was we would then put some colour from our block, from our ink pad onto our block, and we'll be able to do a similar sort of thing. Okay. So don't stress that the markers are going. I have noticed that I'm not using them as much as what I used to. I love them. I love the versatility of them. I love having them. If there's something that you would like, they're also great to add to a kit, and you can get very good bang for your buck with them. They only come in the packs of the family packs, so just be aware of that. So you will get all the colours. and they are now while stocks last. So if you saw my advertising on my Facebook page, you'll see that they're on the way out. Okay, to clean this guy off, you just need a scrap of paper or a pair of dark jeans or a black apron, and you can clean it off so that then you can, you know, we can go back over it with another color. At the moment, it's still a bit green, and I don't want green flowers. Whoa! See that? Let's put that on the block. I have been known to do that. All right, while I'm doing that, let's do this since I can. So this is the side that I'm going to emboss, and since I've made that really juicy, I'm just going to put some flicks of Winter Stella all over it, just while I can, okay? Because I've made it really super juicy. And the reason why I put that on my block is I can come back and pinch from there. You'll see it. See, it's like looks like a bit of snail. All right, so when I talk about putting some ink on our blocks, instead of squeezing it to put it in there, I put it on the corner of my block. And the reason why I do that is because we've got our heater running, everything dries out, then I don't have to worry too much about the fact that, I'm just going to put that to the side, then I don't have to worry too much about the fact that I've got my blocks, my ink pads open. I'm just going to put a bit of colour in here, just because it's really pretty. I'm not sure what flower this is. It looks almost, Lisa's my flower guru. She might be able to tell us. It almost looks like a chrysanthemum, I reckon. All right, just want to add a little bit of colour to it. And of course, because I'm playing with Winter Stella, it's going to add a bit of sparkle as well. And there's something special about a little bit of sparkle at the same time as a little bit of wink, a little bit of colour. Now, as these run out, you can pull off all of the bits and you can add ink to them because there is still some colour, like there will be still some sparkles left inside of them. So just be aware of that. If you've got a colour that you use frequently with your Winter Stella, you can do that. So I quite frequently, it is a chrysanthemum. Thanks, Lisa. I knew you'd know. Where's the lid though? You do have to put the lid back on. You can fill this up with a little bit of alcohol and a little bit of re-inker, because then you'll actually get a bit more glitter out as well, and you can use it like a paintbrush since we don't have the water painters anymore. Right, so we're going to cut those out as well. So we'll get, now all these guys will fit through the mini. All right, whereas, oh, there's my flower. I need that. Okay. One of the other things that's coming is new packaging. So there's a few things on the horizon for changing. And oh, there it is. Whew. I was a bit worried there that I didn't have it. So I need that. I need that. And you know what? I'm going to need these guys. And there's a reason why I'm going to need these guys, and I'll show you in a sec. So we've also got the little cracks, just so that you've got them there if you want them to. And they look amazing done in gold. Okay. So all of these fit in the mini. The textured notes that I used at the beginning didn't. First things first, I'm going to send this piece here with my splatters. You can see them, they look like white snow. That'll make great for Christmas cards. When I'm sending it through my 3D embossing folder, you have to have the little stamping up, which will mean the raised section is on that side. Now, because this is only a skinny piece, I can pick which piece I want it to go through as. And I'm thinking it's going to go through like so. And we put our spine in first. Okay, send that through. Right. So for my friends that are demos, some of them will have already done their pre-order. So at the moment, there's no joining special at the moment, unless you just count the fact that the joining thing is always amazing. But there's no joining special at the moment, so just be aware of that. But if you were to join at the minute, Not only could you get all your markers, if that's what you wanted. All right, where's my washi tape? If you were my washi tape, where would you be? Oh my gosh. I'm sure that someone comes over here, little pixies, in the night time and moves everything. I have all these things just set up that I can normally just grab. Okay, we're going to just have to wing it, guys. Everyone cross everything. We get good cut. Oh, look, here it is. I knew it was here. Oh, boy. Yeah, so if you were to join now, it's $169 and you get $235 worth of product. It's the regular deal that is in the catalogue or that's available all the time for the joining special. And do you know what? It's great value. It's about 33% because you don't have to pay shipping on it either. Okay. But you also, if you were to join now, you get to choose from all of the new release. There's a catalogue coming out next month. Anyone that doesn't have a demonstrator, please let me know if you would like a copy of the seasonal catalogue. It's got all the Christmas goodies in it. Okay. And there's also a release for online exclusives. So I need you to keep that in mind because the online exclusives, everything is on pre-order. Oh, it's not too bad. Everything's on. The visitors are now leaving. Everything that's and my big tough dog has saved me from the visitors that we invited. Oliver, stop it. Now comes another visitor. So we're going to bark at that one as well. Oh, no, that's Dad. But he's still going to bark at him. The online exclusives are also being released next month. There's a whole heap of Christmas ones. Oh, some of them are absolutely fabulous. I am absolutely loving what I've already purchased, and I have put a second order in, I will admit. But we can get them as pre-order. So if you were to join at the moment, you can also get goodies as pre-order as part of your kit. So if you were thinking Christmas crafts, oh, Cherie, if you're still around, you should see the gingerbread man. He is the bomb. But you need a cut and emboss machine as well. Just saying. Your puppy's barking at my puppy. Yes, my puppy is a big tough dog that they're allowed to be, if they're on the outside of the house, they need to be barked at. But as soon as they come inside, they don't get barked at anymore. He's a bit like that. So the girls that come to class know that he's also a bit of a nervous Nelly, and he's a funny bugger. Personalities of our dogs, like, seriously. Okay, so let's see how perfect we can cut this guy. There's that one. And then there's that one. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Oh, sorry. Right, so I'm just taping them onto my cut and emboss machine because my plates leave a lot to be desired. And look, here we have some really pretty gold that I'm going to add to the end here, and I'm going to cut these guys out as well. So we'll send all that through, and then we'll have one more that we're sending through, and then that'll be all of our die cutting. Right. So yeah, so Cherie, the cut and emboss machine is a must, and the gingerbread men are fabulous. All right, so we'll just take all these guys off. Not bad this time. And you know what? I really like this designer series paper. The way that it cuts, it's got a dark. It leaves a border around it on the paper, so you don't have that white edge. Which I like the white edge, but I also like it when we don't have the white edge. All right, and we've got some gold pieces there. Now, you end up with all these little twiggly bits still stuck inside of it. So I'll just give these a bit of a poke. You know, it's funny, I haven't gone back to the other tool. I really like this tool. It's just one of those things, I just really, really like it. Okay, and I'm going to cut more than I need of these because then you can chop them up and you can put them wherever you want, is the other thing. So we can do a bit of creative playing with it as well. And this is just our gold foil, because gold foil's beautiful. Okay, I love it when we've got foils, especially for Christmas stuff, because it just makes it seem so much richer and so much prettier. Okay. I'll move this guy out of the way. Now, with this piece, you'll see it's a little bit fractured. So we've got a little bit of white coming through, and that is why I've used this specifically, because I wanted it. Right? The other thing I want is a bit more white. So this is just a normal emery board, everybody. You don't need anything fancy, just a normal emery board, and I'm just shaving off a little bit off that top bit. Not only does it change the colour, but it changes, it makes that texture come through. All right, you end up with a bit of dust on your thing, so just wipe that on my pants. And then I've got all the little flecky bits on it as well. Now, if you wanted to, you could run your gold embossing through here. You can use some of your ink from your Versamark ink. You can, if you've got an old dry brush, you can actually put Versamark on the end, and you can do some gold embossing through these cracked areas. The choice is yours. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of some of the rubbish here. Just flop this one out. They have a tendency to, if you drop them, they have a tendency to fall out. Now this one's going to make a liar of me. Okay. This one needs to be poked out because it's little. All right. There she goes. And she's out. Okay, so now we've got all of our pieces to start to put together. We've still got some more stamping to do because we've got a stamp on the inside in here. And I have made the decision that I'm going to put this favourite piece back in there, although that would look pretty fabulous as well. Okay, so just an idea for you. There's my envelope. Okay, so let's put some things together. So we've cut our cardstock like we would normally do in half. I've scored it at 10.5 centimeters from the end, because that would be our normal. Well, that's what would be our normal card size. I've then cut off, because this would normally be 10.5. I've then cut off, because that, if I remember correctly, that's 6. I've cut off 4 centimeters. Okay, I think I told you the wrong measurement at the beginning. So this piece here, I've cut to 5 centimeters, 5.5 centimeters, and this piece here is 4.5 centimeters. I've also taken 0.5 centimeter off the top and the bottom at the same time. So we're going to glue those guys on. All right. Okay, and I don't think this, ooh, see that? This is that new glue. Right, let's put the lid back on. Still not used to it being a new glue because I've been storing it the upside down, so it all just falls out. Let's just use this end to spread it a little bit because we don't want it to squelch out the sides. And I wasn't going to waste it. Okay. Let's try not to make as much mess this time. Okay, pop some glue on here. And this bit's going to get stuck down. I'm not sure what this fancy fold's called, but I think anything that's not a plain, like your normal average fold of your card would be considered a fancy fold. It's not a gate fold because the gate fold would have both sides happening. Let's see, that's the other side. You could also, you could use that side and you could have shaved that too. It works. All the bits that stick up will be like the bits that just shaving the top of it. It's because this paper has a white core on it. We used to have something similar for cardstock and it was called Coordinations. Now we've got this in every colour, so you can get it in any colour. 12 by 12, it's great for scrapbooking. Ooh. No, I want the flowers up the top. And then this one is just going to sit there. So it's just layered, layer upon layer upon layer. Okay. And then we've got, so it would stand up like so. Okay. So these bits are going for our inside. This bit here can go straight down because it's the back piece, like it's our mat. If you want to thieve from this piece, you can, but, not today. And it's funny because I do it when I'm making cards, especially Christmas cards, but I don't do it when I'm doing my videos. All right. Now, a couple of things here. If you're going to stamp on here, You can. The other thing that would look good is if you wanted a smaller insert, this little pretty border is quite nice as well. But if you're going to stamp on here, and one of the things that I'm looking for is I actually really like the fact that it's the 3 different colors, the Misty Moonlight, the Petal Pink, and then the white. What I would do is I would try and hide my stamping underneath here so that then that white is the feature. Does that make sense? All right. So if I'm stamping on this one in particular, this time I'm stamping on this side. So I'm going to do the same with what I did before. Where's that flower gone? It's on a block still. And I'm going to stamp it on the opposite side to what I would normally stamp. Because normally I'd stamp on the other side. All right. And I'm just going to stamp it here. Okay. And while I'm at it, because I've got it out, let's stamp our envelope to match. Because we can. Now, this is pretty, but I'm thinking, because I know where this is going, I'm thinking I might stamp this side as well of my envelope. Okay, and I can stamp these flowers, make a lovely border or decorative paper edge or whatever you want to call it. So you can make the most of them. And it's it's actually a really pretty stamp. I do actually really, really like it. Now we need a little bit more. Now I've got ink all over here. Don't mind me. Hi Elizabeth, how are you going? I hope you're doing well too, my friend. I hope everyone's staying dry. It's a bit damp. But I was going to say, how good does that look? But then I stuffed it up. Ah. So, yeah, we do another one here. Yeah, looks good. Okay. I'm only doing that because it's petal pink and I can get away with it. It won't come up on my clothes. Let me tell you now, if that was blue or red, that wouldn't have been happening. All right, I'm just going to have a sip of my cold cup of tea. Hope yours is all nice and warm. All right, so I'll just put my envelope to the side. This piece here can go on the inside. Now, where did that stamp set that darling child of mine brought over for me? All right, so we've got happy birthday, time to celebrate. I'm going to pull out the time to celebrate. As you can see, it's one of my favorites because look at the colour of it. Doesn't affect the use of the stamp. It still stamps fabulous. Okay. And time to celebrate is going to go in Misty Moonlight. And again, it's going to go on that side. I want it to make sure it's square. And you'll notice I'm doing all this before I stick it down so that way, if worse came to worse, I can always stamp on the other side. There's time to celebrate. All right, and we need happy birthday to come to us. Somewhere here, I've also got a stamp cleaner. These are the cases our stamp sets currently come in. Okay, you can actually buy them. That's why this one's a bit ratty. You can buy them. They come in packs of 4. I find them really handy to keep my my cleaner. Maybe just bought me bullets. There's no way I'm going to be able to eat those and talk. No. But if I just stick them under there, I can hide them and maybe won't eat them. Yeah, they're really handy. I actually often store my markers in them as well. They're great for storing your tools in. The stamp sets are going to start to come in packets that are similar to our die packets, which is going to make life so much easier for when it comes to storing them because I'm just drowning in stamp cases. So I am looking forward to them not taking up as much room. I will continue to store them alphabetically the way that I do currently. See? Look, did you see that? There it is. Oh, what's that? Now you see it. Now you don't. Okay. So I've hidden it quite nicely. All right. This, I don't have any Misty Moonlight ribbon that I wanted to use. Let me just poke these out while I'm talking to you. So I didn't bring any ribbon over. There's white ribbon that we can colour, we can do stuff with, but I decided that, nah. All right, so there's a bit of gold features. So now we need to make up our piece for our front. So I'll just put that to the side. All right, we're going to use the words happy birthday. It's quite a nice sentiment in here. It's wide. She did well because initially I had this in my hot little hand and then I put it away to get something else, but it fits really nicely on this. So you can put it at the top if you wanted to, you can put it at the bottom. So we're just going to work out where things are going to go for a bit of placement. All right. So we've got our pot. We've got 2 pots. 2 pots. Pots are good. And we've got some flowers. Maybe I should have put a green pot on there. What do you reckon? Should we get a different colour pot? That happy birthday is going to have to go somewhere else, I think. Because we've got, that's a lot of pink. That's a lot of pink. That's a real lot of pink. What about a blue flower? What do you reckon? I'm thinking that we need either a different colour pot, and I'm thinking an old olive, oh, see, old olive pot would look nice. The cream pot, not so much. The beige pot. This old olive pot would look rather nice. What do you reckon? All right, what's the vote, guys? An old olive pot, or stick with the one that we've got. Look, I'll show you. Here's an old olive pot. Oh, I really like that. I think that's going to have to be the way. What do you reckon, guys? All right. Rather than get the cut and emboss machine out, let's just go around. So the dies are really nice. You do need them. So don't not get the dies. But it's very easy to cut out this one. Just got to hold your tongue right. Amanda would be like spitting chips if she saw me, what's it called, fussy cutting something that has a die with it. I'm thinking this old olive pot is the way to go because I just think it looks it looks fabulous actually in comparison to there's too much pink for my liking. But you guys, those that know me well enough, know that I am not a pink fan. I just, look at that. Yeah, that one's, we don't need that one. What do you reckon? That's better. Yeah, go the old olive. Yes, the blue would have looked good, but this one here is already blue, Sheree. So I didn't really want another blue. These guys here are just a little bit of decoration that is going to sit at the back here. Like it's wallpaper. All right, so let's put this together. Glad you're still here, Sheree. All right. But where we're going to put our sentiment, looks like our sentiment is going on a flag. Oh, I could put it on the inside. Nobody said that we had to have the sentiment on the outside. Put it down the bottom here. Ooh, we could put it down the bottom. And then it could be sitting on, we could put it down the bottom. We're going to stamp it in the blue because we're going to keep, the blue is our dominant color. So the blue is going to be our 60%. White doesn't count. So Misty Moonlight's our 60%, and then we need 2 lots of 20. So one of the 20s, oh, let's put that upside down. Oh, that's the one that's got the Winter Stella all over it. Joy. All right. one lot of 20% is our petal pink, and the other lot is our, or it could be 30%, and then the other 10% is our old olive. And that's like just one of those ways that you just do colour. I'm just going to clean that off because these colours stain and they stay on, whereas if you get them off pretty smart, you can end up with a better looking. So we're going to do a little bit of this. All right. This is going to sit over the top of it with this over the top of that. And our flowers. Sweet. Looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Okay, so to put these guys on, all right, I'm not going to send them off. I want to keep them within the boundaries of this pretty frame that we've got happening here. All right. Squeeze it a little bit, not too much. You don't want a big blob because you will regret it. And then just, it's almost like you're colouring it in. You don't want a lot of glue. If you want your glue to not squirt out the edges, don't put too much. But the other thing that you can do, which is what I'm going to do with this, is I'm going to put it on and I'm just going to sit it there like that for a bit. So that glue is going to get a bit tacky and then it won't squirt out the edges as much as what it does if it is really, really wet. It becomes a little bit repositional. They do say that it's a repositional glue if you do that with it, but I just want it to stick down and not end up on the front of my card, okay? And I'll have one of these guys. Okay, so I don't want it to nobody saw that, did they? Ah, I don't want it to overpower it. I just want it to be a little bit there, but I need some white still. Okay, do you see what I mean? It just sort of is going to stick. Like so. And then we'll work out where we're putting the other one because that jar is going to sit there with that. Essentially, it's sitting in the middle, and this one is sitting over the top of it. So we only see a little bit of that one there, but that's okay. That means that this guy here I'm going to have down here. Okay, so those bits can be stuck on. Got things happening everywhere. All right, okay, just need some dimensionals. These ones are minis, we don't want them. We want big ones. So grab some big dimensionals. All right, and I'm going to put dimensionals under this whole pot, just so that I can. And because it's a card that I'm doing for a commission, I am using a few extra dimensionals to what I would normally use. And the reason being is I want to make sure that it looks nice. This one is going to sit flat, but I have to work out where I am putting it, because I want it to sit up and above that little bit of gold. Okay. Using my hook on my take your pick tool, we're going to pull these dimensional backs off so we can go like that and put them in the bin. You are going to sit there like so. This guy needs a bit of glue under him. Just there. Doesn't need to be locked because it needs to be just needed to. Here he goes again. can't get out. We've locked him in. All right, now this little pot is going to go above here, and it's also going to have a flower, but it's going to stick down in there a little bit more. All right. So this flower is actually going to need a dimensional under it because it's going to be sitting in front of that pot there a bit. All right. You can put 2, but you sort of lose it. And I know that I did 2. Actually, we might do 2, you know. That one's going to go at the back a bit because it's right at the edge. So we'll stick that one right at the back. Okay. So this guy's got dimensionals under him. But coming down this side, because I don't want to take up the space that I want that dimensional. I don't want that dimensional to be under there. And I'm going to chop off. Let's make it fit better in the pot. Chopping that bit off, okay? Nobody said it had to be the whole flower that was under there. Okay, this bit needs a little bit of glue. That bit is because that is going to sit just on there like so. Okay, all right, so it's balancing precarious on there. This guy is going to need some dimensionals, but it needs them under this bit here. Okay, and that's the only bit, because that's the only bit that is going to stick up. All right, the rest is actually going to sit underneath there and is going to stick to the bottom of this one. Okay, stick that up a little bit too. All right, so it's just a matter of a balancing act, and it's now I forgot to use my little. It's just a matter of pulling them in and out and around to suit how you want them. Okay, that is going to look, if I do say myself, pretty fabulous on the front of this card. So now that I've made that piece, then I can stick this piece on here. If you wanted to put a bit of ribbon on here, you could. Don't have anything. Oh, I've got this old olive one. Actually, that would probably work quite beautifully. So let's do that. This is from the Pear Suite, whose name's, this is Mossy Meadow, but it's going to work. Other than that, I've got white. White is sort of boring, really. This has got gold and shiny and is pretty. So, look. I think that's the deal. I think that's a deal breaker. Although the white, actually, no, you know what? I do have Misty Moonlight. I think Misty Moonlight's the go. Misty Moon. Yeah, I think we need to keep that Misty Moonlight. All right. So we're going to do this with the ribbon. We're going to find on this table somewhere a roll of tape. No, not. It's developed some leaves. I've been crafting on the table behind me, so everything moved back to the table behind me. And I thought, I'm not using ribbon, I don't need tape. But do you know what? I want to use ribbon, so I want tape. Okay, maybe not. All right, I've got seal. Okay, this is Stampin' Seal. You guys don't see me yet. I can colour the white. The white would look fabulous, but I've got Misty Moonlight, so we're going to do that. I'm going to put some Wicker Stella on it, though. This is Stampin' Seal. You won't see me use it very often. It sometimes plays nice for me and other times it doesn't. Okay. Oh, today's it's going to play nice. Okay. So we're going to just put some Stampin' Seal on the back there. Bring that around the front. Don't make it pull it too tight. Turn that off. Okay. Now, you can put Wicker Stella on here as well. And it just makes that ribbon have that sparkly look to it. But we don't need a lot of it. So I'm just putting it on the bits that are going to stick out at the edge. Okay? And it will be really hard for you guys to see, but let me tell you, it is shiny. Okay? So, and that will stay there. So they rave about all of the microplastics and all that sort of stuff that's in the environment and everything that's happening these days. So you want to be aware that we actually have some control of how much plastics we put into the environment, and glitter is one of those things that is really, really bad for our environment. There's a reason why they call it the herpes of the craft world, because it just gets everywhere. A lot of places will not let you use glitter anymore. Okay, so this way is a really nice way of applying glitter without it actually being everywhere. You're thinking, why is she doing that? Well, she's going to put a piece of seal under here, and then she's going to go like so. Oh, that bit didn't stick. Still doesn't want to stick. Okay, it's going to, whether it likes it or not. Because then it looks like I've tied a knot under there. Now, and you can see why I like tape, because it's so much easier. Now my piece of paper is sticking to the table here. All right. The other thing you can do is you can, if that doesn't want to play nice, you can trim it and you can go like so and stick it in a different spot. Okay. This guy here is going to get stuck on with dimensionals as well, just because there's a lot of height in this ribbon here. Okay. Now this is where these pieces here are going to come in handy. Okay. Because I'm going to make it so that, got to make it so that it's smaller. Okay. So I'm just going to sit it over the top there, so that when I send my card front onto it, it's going to be straddling that ribbon. Okay. These pieces also make great corners, so don't discount them. It's dimensionals, guys. They make great corners and they make great long bottoms. Right, and you'll notice because I've got that piece there, it's automatically going to be in the middle. You don't need to take off all of the backs, but it does work quite nicely for you. Okay. Just take this one off, and this one. It's actually turning out rather pretty, if I do say so myself. Okay. Oh, stuck to the table again. Tape doesn't do that. And we're going to square that guy up there. Now, when we're putting it on here, oh, I forgot about that. I've now got a piece of tape sticky here. Okay. That's a bit of a worry. I should have put it all the way across to the other side. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get this sticky off, because that's not going to work for me. Ow! Oh, now I'm bleeding. That's not good. Okay. So this piece of sticky here needs to move, because I don't want it to stick to this piece here. So how am I going to fix this, you're all saying? Well, you know what? Actually, here's something I prepared earlier. Now, you know how I really liked that piece of designer series paper? Let's make this work. This is one that I tore. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. I'm going to use that as my ruler because my trimmer is on the other side of the room and I don't feel like getting up to get it because you guys have seen the back of me for too many times. Okay, so to cover that piece there, I am going to trim that off there like so. Now you could put this piece on that way or do what we're going to do, which is put it on that way. So I'll just put a bit of glue on here and see, nothing is broken. It's all fixable. I forgot that I had that piece like that. And that piece is going to go over the top. So now our ribbon is hidden and so is our sticky piece that was going to get in the way, so that when we open it up, it looks like there's a nice little bit over there as well. Now, to do this bit, I want this to sit central, okay? Which means I need to make sure my adhesive goes on central, but only on that side of the card. All right. So there's a couple of ways we can do it. We can actually just hold it on there and open the card and do like so. All right. And then put something along here that says don't put adhesive here. Like this. Move that out of the way, and then I've got, this is where the adhesive needs to go. Okay. So I will put some on my ribbon, but I'm not going to put it all the way to the edge because I need a little bit of wiggle room. Right? Wiggle room is always good. Okay, so is scrap paper. All right, so let's line that guy up. How good does that flower sticking up the top up there look? Works nicely, doesn't it? Okay, push that down, and there we have today's card. So there's a little bit of sparkle in our ribbon here with our Wink Stella. Wink Stella is something that I think we all should have in our toolkit, and there is today's pretty card. What do you reckon, guys? And then when you open it up, we've got our little bits hidden at where we put our piece of sticky. If you want to, you can cover this in a piece of pattern paper as well, so it looks like, you know, you've done that all very deliberate. And then we've got the area we can write our sentiment and our matching envelope. Do you think she'll like it? I hope she does. Alrighty, so that was lovely to see you all. I hope that you enjoyed that card. There's some really pretty papers in our designer series paper range, so don't look at them and think, oh, I can't cut that up. They can always get some more, especially the stuff that's in the actual the main catalogue, because it's going to be there for the 12 months. But keep checking out that last chance thing, because last chance area, because you don't want to miss anything that you would have liked to have got. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Have a fabulous week. Try and stay dry if you're also on the Central Coast. Otherwise, I will see you later. Bye. Oh, can't find my button to press.